Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Flexible by Design. I'm Ali Vogel, your host from Flexi Design, and today we have the honor and the privilege to invite Ilan Dray, founder of Inkod and a number of other entrepreneurial ventures, who is joining us today as a design leader, an entrepreneur, and just someone you need to get to know. So, Ilan, we asked you here today to be on our episode to hear about your design philosophy when it comes to fusion experience. It's a term that you coined. You've written a book about it, you've talked about it at a number of conferences and in publications. So, why don't you go ahead and tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and what is fusion experience?
So, to make it short, my story is very interesting because I'm born in Israel, in Haifa, and I left when I was 6 years old to Paris. I studied in France visual communication. I get involved into advertising and start to work in Paris. And at the beginning of the internet, I already felt that something is going to revolutionize the world. In France, it was a Minitel before the internet. In Israel, it was a Teletel. So I focus my creativity on what we call multimedia. And I was one of the first actors to play this game. Then, because France as a culture part is amazing from culinary experience and architecture and art and everything, I was really inspired. But from an entrepreneurship perspective, I felt that in Israel, everything occurs. It was the beginning of this kind of concept. And I said to myself, maybe I need to come back to Israel and bring this French touch. So I decided at the age of 25 to live with my portfolio. Didn't speak one word in Hebrew. And very quickly, after engaging with a local digital studio, it was acquired. Then there was the economic boom, and this company needed to close. And I used this legacy of customer to open Inkod. As a co-founder with Ronin Izri and other great partners, we create digital agencies that is considered as one of the top 100 leading digital agencies in the world. And for more than 20 years, we are ruling all what is around the B2B product design, hardcore, cyber companies, fintech. But where I came with this fusion experience, because I realized a kind of pattern. We are very good in Israel to create startup with very strong technology, and fusion experience connecting the dots, and instead to look at an experience from like in the US we love verticals. So instead to be just a marketing experience, a product experience, or people experience, or space experience, I merge all these concepts as the one holistic approach that is called fusion experience.
Ilan, you went from design school to joining an emerging digital enterprise to starting an agency to basically having this agency be one of the top 100 agencies globally. And it still lives on today, even after you, which is an amazing feat. So, what would you say is one or some of the key factors that you attribute to this success?
So for any designer, I really recommend to step back, not to rush to get the project, to understand in depth what is about the project, what are all the challenges that you are going to face. This way you are not going to create any frustration, not on your side and not on the customer side. This is first of all. Second, I understood by placing my own designer inside different startups that it was huge. It was different. We were one of the first with this approach because in general it was much more for developers, not for designers. But how you can understand deeply a product if you are not part of the team? So any designer, I recommend highly to work with the team to understand the politics, to understand the challenges, to understand the little conversation, and it will build up the team and everything around that allow you a better communication, better conversation, and be part of something bigger. Innovation cannot be in silos. So I highly recommend to work inside the companies. Third and last but not least, you start still, you're not an employee of the company, so you can have an objective point of view. I was able to understand uh, patterns. I'm talking about it. It's one of the chapter in the book Fusion Experience where I explain my framework and my methodology, how I implement it into startups and why it's so much successful, because I understand what can be improved with this objective point of view and make a kind of reverse engineering when I come back to the studio by analyzing how we can make it a better process. So it's not only about creative design as an executant, but it's much more by understanding a flow, not only the product like we used to define, but all the entities that are involved to make this happen.
So you were stepping in at a time where things were done very differently than they are now. And the topic of our show, something we discuss a lot, is how artificial intelligence and all of the developments that are coming as a result of this new technology are shaping the ways we work and design. What are some of your predictions of how the design as a service space is going to drastically change due to this ever frequently evolving technology?
So when come the AI trend, because of so from a technology perspective, we can do some AI applications that help us as a designer, creative people, want to use these tools, and I call it tools. It's not going to replace us, but it can help us to find better references, get inspiration, and so on. Now, from my perspective, I try to understand how we can implement it into the companies to scale up quicker, to deliver better, to be able to grow in a healthier way. One of the things of why I came with this fusion experience is because I understood very quickly that Israeli startup know to create technology, but as I said before, but as soon as they get into a new market, it's very difficult for them to evolve properly because there is a lot of clash. So AI now allows to automate a lot of parameters into this scaling sections, scaling areas that I'm looking for in companies. Give maximum visibility of what you are doing. A design system that is only for designers and R&D is not enough. A design system like we did, for example, at Aqua Security was a teamwork effort that it was cross channels. It was a design system, so it's much more a brand book online, call it, or library, assets library, but it was accessible for everyone. Someone from the HR team wanted the logo of the company, just go to Octopus, the name of the design system, to download it. Someone from the finance wanted the uh, presentation template, so you go to Octopus to download it. And we create, in the same philosophy and approach, a library of more than 250 icons on GitHub for free that you can download and use in your Dry or wherever you want. And this is huge. And today, AI can help really to deliver better and quicker.
Something that you said that has really resonated is around design systems and the future of scalable and flexible products. So, when you started your agency 20 years ago, design systems were evolving. We were using different tools. We didn't necessarily have the scalability that we have today. And with AI, it's basically being supercharged. What are some of the tools that you're using? I know our listeners love getting tangible takeaways.
I'm using Sora for sure. And other tools, for example, Grok from Twitter is an AI version of ChatGPT. There is much more empathy, much more humor, much more interesting from editing content, for example. I'm working a lot with the Israel aerospace industry innovation. They have centers of innovation all around the world, not only in Israel, in the US, coming soon in Azerbaijan, and many other centers of innovation. And when you deal with defense, with space tech, with what we call today resilience tech, sometimes, and what I love about it, the products, there's no competition. You are going to define something that, from a product perspective, you are part of a big team of engineers, but you are part of creating something that is resolving real issues. It's that death or life. It's crucial. So the way you think is completely different, and sometimes you need to give the vision of what it will be or what it can be. And today I'm using video AI tools like Sora because it allows me to deliver very realistic kind of quality of what these innovations can be.
So one of the things you said also that I wanted to bring in here is don't get attached to the tools, but rather be attached to the curiosity. You said explore different tools. I remember a mentor of mine early on in my career. We had worked together at LinkedIn. She ended up working at Adobe. She was a VP there, VP at Zendesk. And she would always say, the tools will come in, but it's the principles and it's the way you think about the principles that are going to stand the test of time. And this constant curiosity, experimentation, this is what's brought us to where we are today. And this is something that we have to continue tinkering with and we have to continue playing with. And it sounds like it's something that when you were building your company, you really had top of mind, which has allowed you that flexibility working with these types of early stage companies all the way to some of the most established brands in the market that you were residing in. So I think it's really interesting to see how that has shaped your philosophy and how it's drawn into Fusion Experience. I want to take the conversation to talk about the merging of the digital and the physical sphere. One of the things that I found really interesting is that your book, Fusion Experience, is a physical book. It's not a digital book. And I saw a lot of your work online, and you are able to translate everything you do from product design to actual event design and event experience. And this is something that we're starting to see a lot today, which is great that we live in this digital sphere, but this is post COVID. People are getting back to the office. People are getting back to events. It's been years now. How can we think about the merging of the digital and the physical world?
So I will give it a use case because we were talking about big corporate now that they have changed their mindset, and Microsoft did it successfully, and you saw the shift in the last 7 years thanks to the leadership team. It's interesting. Not all the corporates invested in this possibility and got sometimes stuck. And one of the pattern I was talking about, it's people that sometimes are working on the same floor but don't know each other because they're from different departments. When cyber reason was growing, a cyber company was scaled up like crazy. They got more than $100 million. I have one of my designer inside the team. She became the creative lead and so on. After 5 years, Leo and Jonathan and the leadership team and Yossi came to me and said, Ilan, I don't understand. 5 years after Inkod, we have a great creative team, but I don't see the product evolving. It's still the same design, the same experience. We need to bring something new because we don't have the competitive advantage anymore. And we used to be the reference. How you can disrupt at this level? And this is at this moment I understood that I need to live in code. I didn't come to, restructuration of all the design team and try to disturb their day-to-day routine. They were more feature focused, Sometimes startup, when they scale up, they have a technology gap that they need to close because of the competition. They need another feature and another table, another button or tab that is going to solve maybe the issue, but it's not going to bring innovation. You cannot step back and now do a creative feature or something much more interesting because you are in your day-to-day routine. So what I did, I said to the leadership at Cyber Reason, you know what? As a VP creative, my first request is take me an office on the site. I want an office in WeWork. We are going to call it CBR Labs. I define something completely disruptive. I don't want to hire a designer. I'm going to hire a data analyst. I'm going to hire a project manager that is going to manage, not the product manager, project manager that she's going to manage all the tasks and prioritize them in the way that we can implement also innovation. And by defining an entity that is outsider, I was able to boost initiative like design system, like AI involved into cybersecurity. I call it CBR Labs. And this is the way I shift the mindset of a corporate, and they become back the leader at this moment until they got funded more than $250 million. And I left the same day to join Aqua Security, where it took me 5 years, but I did something very similar with the team to create holistic experience. So the second point is when I see the companies that do not have the ability to scale. So Fusion Experience was trying to redefine something to answer your question from digital to physical, because at Cybereason, one of the things that is not well done is the fluidity inside the office. If you wanted to go to a meeting room, you needed to go into a platform to order the meeting room that is far away from you. And if you want to meet someone that you are working with, you need to go to the second floor instead to be on the same floor. All the space experience was not defined properly. So one of the first challenges that I did at Cybereason was to design the office completely. We moved to a new office. For me, it was an opportunity. Yossi told me, this is your first task, Ilan. I want you to be involved, not from an architect point of view, interior design point of view, from a people experience point of view, how we can improve by designing on the wall, by creating signs that helping to find the right places, by creating a phone booth to have call and to have privacy and not to be in open space with all the noise and feel like you are not focused. I wanted something that people feel happy to come to the office. The best metaphor, and I'm talking about it in the book, when you go to a restaurant, Ali, it's not only about what you got in the plates. It's not only the food that you order that make the experience perfect. It's the acoustic, it's the light, it's how the service is, if it's clean. And all these experiences make your experience feeling good and you come back to the restaurant. So this is called hospitality experience in the physical world. So for me, I understood very quickly that this physical experiences can have an impact into the digital world and digital companies, because you cannot be focused only on your digital experience if you are a startup. You need to invest in all what is around. This helps to have a better retention of your employees. That helps to have a better conversation inside the company. Sometimes cross countries, it helps to build up team and break difference of culture. Trust me, the business impact is huge. And this is my invitation to all the designers and all the creative people, whatever field you're expert, how you can have an impact on the world. Don't wait the government, don't wait the media. It's not going to happen. It's only going to happen by, first of all, like we do right now, have a conversation and bring together creative ideas to change the world in a better way.